Hello, hello, it's Jason. And if the mailman hasn't come around to you yet, it's probably the world's about to end. So anyways, I'm going to share a pre-recorded thing earlier today, and I'm also going to share some notes and kind of do two things at once. Yeah, I'm really convicted through all kinds of stuff that everything's about to go bye-bye. And we got two stages of it. You don't want to be part of the second because it's like the devil running the whole world. So anyways, I'm going to share stuff with you as I go. Play this.
Okay, I guess we're recording, Chinda. It's Jason. Hopefully you guys have heard me or know me, but even if not, hey man, I love you. And we're gonna get going on this crazy stuff, and I'm gonna box it in later, old school, with some live video and some notes and stuff. All right, say hi.
Hello, Wagwan means hello. How are you?
You gotta be more enthusiastic than this. Come on, man.
I am. I'm good.
Alright. So anyways, he'll get going.
We're both tripping because the world's about to end.
So, yeah, I've been out there talking to tons of people, writing notes and crap and online and doing as much as I can. In case, the mailman hasn't come around to you yet. Like, this world's about to end. Like, these new prophets are in the music. They always have been. Some of them seem to really like the moon and the sun, and some of them don't. But, and you can tell with other stuff, too, and you just get that, Unless you're seared, you just get that feeling, But anyways, I'm going to get going on this stuff because there's no time left. Like, literally, Easter, Thursday night before Easter. Like, this world's going to go into chaos. Okay, anyways, so I'm just like Jesus had his, he set up all his holidays, wave sheaf and all that, and he had his. And he played them out in his life. They were fulfilled. They were just types. They were shadows. And the devil has set up holidays. And this mass seems to be set up too, because it seems to play out almost exactly with the moon and the sun, as it plays out, So anyways, yeah, I'm going to get talking fast, but I'll slowly speed up so your brain can kind of adjust, I guess. Like Leo Shrevin says, we got a bunch of dogs coming up on us. That's pretty cool. A dog that's brown and black, a dog that's white, and a little dog that's short. A little Dachshund. That's pretty cool. And they just come out of nowhere. I don't even see anybody. Do you see anybody in that mirror? Wow, that's so cool. And they're checking us out.
There was nobody around.
Okay. Hey guys, how you doing? Want to hear about the end of the world? Ah, there they go.
I'm talking to actual dogs.
There was so many birds here earlier. We're facing the Lake Erie.
Yeah, as soon as they heard you say, you want to hear another word, say, let's get out of here.
They'll figure it out. Hopefully not too late. They might be one of the quarters.
Back and then they kept going.
So yeah, we're looking at Lake Erie. We're looking at technically, the U.S. I guess, because we're on the Port Stanley side of this stuff. So yeah, I go to these different places that are so awesome, and just frogs are croaking like a billion of them in one spot, and things like that. Wind's howling, rain's pouring, wheat's all over the place. Winter wheat, as far as the eye can see, in the middle of it. Things like that, like all these symbolic things. It's everywhere. God is speaking to you everywhere. It's all around you, in the music, in the movies, in the books, in the art, in situations all around you. He's trying to show you who he is and come to you. And so we got this danger coming, I just had to kind of shake all the people that thought I was boring. So let's get to this stuff, You gotta get rid of all of self. The only cure for this coronavirus is love. And we gotta love as hard as we can, because a lot of stuff's about to happen. The devil has set up holidays for thousands of years, and now they're about to play out. And we knew his 42 months would come eventually. And people on the Watchtower have seen it start. And when we had the situation with Rome in the United States, years ago, and with this Pope talking to the Congress and the UN and all this other stuff and promoting his agendas. So, and then we had 3.5 years go by of all these craziness and Mandela effects and things being just kind of behind the scenes. And now everyone tripped out, and it's going to happen last spring, and it didn't. But Jesus is cutting it short, but he cut the beginning short. Not the end. We would just think the end is a human. But we don't even know when it's going to end. Maybe he's cutting a chunk of the end off too. But the thing's going to play out the way it's supposed to play out. And that's Easter, with the god of fertility coming down and making everything new. And Halloween, getting the dead back into hell. And appeasing the sun god on Christmas, and then he starts shining again for longer days. And now, we get our gifts and have big feasts because we're going to be fine now. It's all going to play out. In the Mass, when the moon is held up and turned into Jesus, and the sun comes down the center aisle, and they put the moon and the sun, and everyone's like, it's going to play out in the sky, and it might sound wild, but they got more technology, just like Jesus worked through man. Kind of half, God, half man, through the literature, through Jesus himself, through everything. He wants to work through us. The devil wants to work through us. He's got power of nature. He could just do this stuff. But he gets technology built up through atom bombs and things like CERN. And he gets this stuff built up, and he sets these things up for reasons to put all down through the ground on fault lines and create giant earthquakes and to do things with fake suns and clouding out super high, like when the volcanoes get up there, they ash, and it stays up there for a long time. They know what chemicals, they know what this show is. They literally, I'm not going to get into the little details, I'm just going to tell you what's going on. That stuff God will fill in for you. And the people that think I'm nuts, let them think I'm nuts. But I've been at this for a while, and I've seen a lot, and I can't get into all that because it'll take up too much time. We got to just get to the situations. This stuff, they put it in our faces. It's in the cartoons. It's in the comics. It's around. And they just put it right in our faces. And everybody knows it. From the Queen of England to the Hounds of Hell. Well, I don't care. Because all the saved, all the ones that say, no, we're not going to deal with this. We're not going to worship this Corona sun crap. This event and this guy that came down. This man in the moon, crap. They're going to say no. And they're going to dance around and say, I'm a loser, so why don't you kill me? In your bozo nightmare, It's going to be cool. God is going to give you an experience you're going to enjoy. Look back at the rest of eternity. And you're going to say, because of that, I know who God is. I know the opposite, so I know the true. Because I've been there. And if it ever pops up again anywhere, God lets sin get really bad. He lets evil get really bad. He lets the devil run the world. That's why we got till Easter, and everything after that's going to be the devil's world all the way. It's going to be a struggle to get a quarter after. We're under the first and second horsemen. The third and fourth are going to be nuts. He's got a year, Easter to Easter. And then God's got a year to deal with him. And then sometime after that, the real Jesus comes. And the real events in the sky happen with the real sun and the real moon. But for now, we got this Chinese sun that's made. Rome ordered. Moon, sun, stars that drive around in the sky and crap. We're about to play out a giant mass. The devil works through people. Just like God works through people. He's working through me. It's none of me. I'm invisible. I don't exist. I can't do this stuff. If I existed even a little teensy bit, it's Jesus through me. That's it. When you're talking to people, when I'm talking to people, it has to be 100%. Now, we can't mess up. We have like a week and a half. Come on. Less than that probably by the time you're hearing this. I would have got this out sooner. I got notes out. I got out what I could, This stuff is all planned out, and the rules are all above, and I can't follow anything but God. And you can't, if you want to. It's getting deep. The rain's getting deeper. And we're about to be washed out. So what about these little Chinese suns they've made that are about to corona inside of us as this giant one goes around? So what? They love their technology. They brag about it. They patent it. They brag about it. They got it all over the place. God's Spirit is pouring out right now. I see it all the time. I talk to a lot of people. I see it in people's eyes. They already know a lot of it. They already know most of it. Some of them even know all of it. I'm saying it's out there. Don't let them isolate you in your own little world. It's out there. So what's about to happen? I'll stop and fill in some details, but I'm going to try to keep to the storyline. It's going to get really bad by Easter, especially Thursday night. It's going to get really bad, and there's going to be a fast called right before Easter. And the whole nation's going to fast, 3-day fast. And Easter at noon, there's going to be darkness at the break of noon. And it's going to shadow even the silver spoon, you know? The handmade blade, you know, the destructions and the deceptions instead of justice and mercy. The handmade blade, this child's balloon, these globes that have... It's nuts, everything. This freaking Chinese sun and moon that eclipses both the sun and moon. If you'd have understand before, it would have been too soon. It's now. Now is the time, you know? Dylan's head's going to be on a platter while John Lennon's playing on stage in D.C. with the, you know, Man on the Moon with freaking Quinn the Eskimo, and everyone's going to be partying because all the people that the devil thinks is his enemies are going to be fried when he spins around in this giant sun. These things have 19 functions, and one of them is a little corona flare inside of people. They can make people sick, and if they don't worship the sun, they'll make them sick. And if they worship the sun, they'll make them well. These are sun-worshiping, controlling devices. They're in everybody by now, except for people that have left and stayed away from the crowds. What I'm saying is, forget about everything. Forget about me. Forget about everything. This is not about me. It's going to get bad by Easter. It's all played out exactly the way the Christ is supposed to come. Exactly. What's going to happen? They're going to say, "Help us, God," the biggest Protestant on the biggest stage right before noon. "Help us, God." And the moon's going to go, first it's going to go black. Like the order in the Bible. It's going to be black. You're not going to see anything. It's going to be dark. And the moon's going to go blood red. And it'll eerie light the whole world with blood red. And then the sun's going to shine a bit enough to see it. And it's going to come over to the moon like they march it down the center aisle on a stick over to the moon. And the moon is going to go step in front of the sun and do the black hole sun, you know, but it's not going to be a little evil disc. That's just what's coming out of it. It's going to be a beautiful rainbow corona coming around out of the sun. This is a week and a half, 2 weeks. Come on, guys. Sunday ended, it's Monday now, as I'm doing this. So the black hole sun. It's going to have corona running around. And all the other meanings of corona, it's a round light in the church. It's a capacitor at its highest charge. You know, come on. It's a crown. It's this flat spot over a doorpost or a building. It's the center of a narcissus flower. Come on. Everything points to the op. The corona glows rainbow as the moon is black inside, as the moon goes black, because it steps in front of it red, and as it corona rainbows, the moon goes black, because it used to sort of be the home of Jesus, you know, but now Jesus stepped into the sun with his dad, and now it's all bright and colorful, you know, because they're together finally. They've only eclipsed before, you know. Oh, how precious. God has always been there above us, giving us light and light, you know, light and life and everything we need, you know. And you can be your own sun if you want to. You can have your own world and have your own snow globe and have your own plans to, you know, to get loyalty from this world and all these other stupid things that are going to be said. And all you got to do is pray to him and everything will be fine. And it will be fine because it's the devil's world. You got to get as many people on this side of Easter as we can. We got to love as hard as we can. So the black hole sun, coronas, and now it's kind of dark, but it's rainbow now, and not just red, it's rainbow colors and beautiful, and things are going to be fine, supposedly. And the stars drive themselves on over to the sun. And they do the small to big and all these other stupid things. And they all go behind the sun, and then the shield, or the moon, whatever you want to call it, the shield drifts away like an empty balloon, like nobody's driving it. It used to be the home of Jesus, but now it's gone, you know. And the sun is just crazy bright, and as it brightens up, people start to fry underneath it. And it does a big circle around the equator. And as it goes around, everybody with their 5G and these big waves coming out of this nuclear reactor garbage, you might want to get some freaking whatever for radiation that, Amazing Discoveries has told you about. You might want to think about all the herbs and crap if you're going to make it through this stuff. What's edible, all that stuff. God will tell you to. But anyways, remember all the stuff. Come on, man. There's Adventists still in the cities. Remember. Anyways, back to the moon and the sun. So it drives around the Earth, and as it drives around the Earth, they 5G, but they got timers on these things too, They 5G out one of the 19 functions, and it fries people from the inside out, and people think it's the glory of the Christ coming around the Earth. Most of the real people are going to be fried. So as it goes around, the devil releases spirits that people have and stuff, but still keeps some people, because there's got to be more miracles, Releases some of the evil people and the spirits that were holding them. And as he goes around, it's just glorious. And he stops where he started above D.C. And they call out, "Come on down, Jesus," or whatever the hell they say. They invite him down, And here comes the fire from heaven, from the image of the beast, in front of the beast. Right in front of him. And everybody's with him. And everybody starts to party because it's so overwhelming. And John Lennon singing all his sun-worshiping songs and Live and Let Die. And Paul McCartney is in his stupid symbolic crap that he walked through the airport in, all that stuff. Maybe even nude. It might be new-looking stuff, but the same symbolism, the same garbage. The same false Paul McCartney. We don't care anymore. I'm not inciting a riot, but, we're not going to take it. No, we ain't going to take it. It's in every music. It's everywhere. I'm not saying who's a prophet or who's not. I'm saying Dylan and Lennon are the big boys. And Michael Jackson will be doing the moonwalk with the man in the moon, and everybody will be jamming all around the world. And people will see him in their own freaking, vision of who they think he's going to come as, and all these other stupid visions these people have, Oh, I forgot the earthquake. Of course, the giant earthquake is part of the play out in Revelation. You got to remember that in the beginning. How could I forget that? In case I lost some of you, whatever. God, everything, even mistakes, sometimes you got to flow with God 100%. Sometimes things just don't make sense. But you got to love. We're promised, guaranteed. If you have the me attitude, you will receive strong delusion from the real creator, not the Mandela man. And he will give you strong delusion, and you will believe this lie that God is in the sun. And go ahead and get these little robots all you want, because you don't care. You trust the boss not to turn him on. You know how much the Chinese and the Romans love their sun? There's code. Like, hair is faith. Hairdresser's faith worker, Mobile hairdressers and stuff, flamethrowers. Yeah, you can bring all your flamethrowers. We're going to dance around and say, bring it on, man. We're going to be as loud as witnesses as we can. We're going to staple it up to telephone poles, man. We're going to say whatever God says to say. We're going to stand on the rooftops. We're going to have them quarantine our city. Let's have them quarantine our city and shut us down so we can't yell to everybody else. Let's have them restrict travel. Come on, man. Let's yell this shit out. Sorry, I can't swear on YouTube. Sorry. That's not a swear. That's, I don't know. Passion? God will get it through. God will clean it up. God's good. He'll make it in your language. God is awesome. He loves you. He's going to reach for you in every way possible. And I'm showing up in D.C. because I've already challenged Mr. Moon Man publicly a bunch of times. I've talked to him privately, and he's talked back a bunch of times. I'm going to steal his flute. Him in his little Chinese suit. Man. Anyways, back to the storyline. So you got Easter, everyone's got this crazy deception, And even now, I see it in stores. I see one person paying intense attention. And I see the other person saying, no, rolling up the window, trying to drive away, saying, let's go, let's go. Trying to get away from it, trying to reject it, trying to ridicule it. I see it so intense already. I see it, it's out there. Families are going to divide. Get everyone on the same page now. We got to reduce these odds. We got to get the odds down. After Easter, it's only a quarter of the world. The third and fourth horsemen. We only struggle to get a quarter out of this world. It's so delusive. But there's still going to be people. God gets every little person out before the last year of the plagues. And even then they think it's these people, because every holiday builds up insanely. Even new ones like the 4th of July is next. And like, this sort of seems to be, false prophet there. Yeah, he promotes some good stuff and cries about wanting to tell the world, about this stuff. But he seems to lead into, a new system of, I don't know, I'm not going to tell you who's prophets. But some people are bigger than others, And some people fake out talking like Jesus is talking to you. So we got to be careful. We got to ask God. Not going to lose any because I put anybody down. You got to stick with me. Okay. 4th of July, where do dead folks go when they die? They don't go to heaven where the angels fly. They go to the place of fire and fry. We'll see them again on the 4th of July. Kurt Cobain from Nirvana. So, we got this CERN set up as this huge wormhole into hell, and this thing that seems to make devil technology, all this through humans, that seems to make things and change things in the world. Just like making, energy out of matter with these splitting atoms and hydrogen and stuff. This is making matter out of energy. So, we have this control of the devil through man in technology that God has allowed. So anyways, CERN, they're going to open up as the wormhole into hell, and they're going to pour out like a funnel and terrorize the world more and more and impersonate hated uncles and Hitlers and the dead sleep. It's so clear. All this stuff, this old school Adventist stuff is right on. When we die, we sleep, R.I.P., rest in peace, all this stuff, these verses and stuff. The false Christ, when he comes on Easter, is going to change our Bibles and change Ellen White. It's going to become like Vaticanus Sinaiticus dropping from the sky and all these other stupid things, all these setups. He's already changed the lion to the lamb, or the lion and the lamb, the lion, which is Jesus. Even when the devil's running around like a roaring lion, the wolf is always the devil. It's such a counterfeit. God's warning us. He's saying, come on, man. It's going to be so close. He's going to swap me out. And he's changed trespasses to debts and all these other little things. But it's going to be everything soon. And he's going to say, I just got to change this Bible. And they're all going to be gone, and old ladies are going to cry. That sort of still have Jesus in their heart but didn't make a decision or are in the woods and stuff. Literally, these Bibles are done for in 2 weeks. Even the Adventist out in the woods. We got to accept the new roads. Like the prophet Dylan says, the old roads are rapidly aging. Please get into the new ones. The old ones are crumbling. Crap. So anyways, back to the storyline. So the devils pour out of the CERN and they terrorize the world. And the Halloweens always get the devils back into the All Saints, November 1st, when the sun sets on the 31st, all that stuff. They used to have bonfires to summons the dead, but they won't have to have that. They saved the bone and all the whole ritual of Halloween, and they put it in the bonfire, the bonfire, and they put all the lights out and all these rituals and scary stuff around the house so the spirits wouldn't go back and feel comfortable there. They said, go away. Go wherever you got to go. And they're going to do it again, and they're going to become even more sun worshippers because they followed the system to get rid of it. And then Thanksgiving, the false Christ makes new heavenly foods. Every single plant's supposed to have a beautiful flower and beautiful foliage and delicious fruit, fragrant flower and delicious fruit, fragrant fruit. It's suppressed, of course. But he's going to literally he's going to make fruit in front of people. And say, look, this is what's coming. We just got to get rid of these people that worship on Saturday, that don't worship on Sunday, that don't take the Mass. We just got to talk them out of it, or just get rid of them, We used to say live and let live, but in these ever-changing world in which we live in, we got to say live and let die. You got to do your job well. You got to give the other fella hell, It's going to be overwhelming. We got to get as many people out now. We gotta kick ass now. That's a donkey, whatever, you know. The devil's a donkey. So, the next thing that starts happening is the sun starts getting darker and darker and darker and darker. And it's cold. And it's almost gone by this winter solstice, by 22nd. And, by December 22nd, just like the old pagan days. The days would get shorter and shorter, and they'd say, the god's going away. We got to appease him by killing people that don't worship the sun. And then they'd celebrate when the days got longer on the sundials. It's going to happen again. Right before Christmas. What's that dad on Family Guy? You know, I can't believe Christmas ever got so complicated after he says he's got to kill the whole family. You know, come on, man. They put it in our face. It's there. Trust God. Don't be part of independence. Don't be part of sin. Don't be part of selfishness. Me, I. Don't be part of that. You'll see all the devil's delusions, and you'll believe them. Be part of us. We, community, love. It's the system of God. We're part of him and everybody around us in whatever way is best and perfect. The devil had people. He's not Joshua. God had to fight in the Old Testament the devil's way. He ran the world. And God had to fight the devil's ways. So he came here and he kicked butt the devil's ways, you know. But Jesus won the war at the cross. We got to lay down our arms. We got to say, I don't care about your Chinese robots. I'm never worshiping that stupid sun. And I'm going to tell as many people as I can in whatever way God tells me, whether it's covert or loud. Sometimes we got to get out to more people. But even if you don't have a phone around you, they have devils everywhere. You got to pray for special seals and protections. But after Easter, it's going to be beyond comparison. I got to pause because somebody just pulled up. A white truck is turning around. And it's funny, it looks just like my brother's truck. And it's doing a cool circle. Maybe it's another symbolism thing, like the dogs. Maybe it's my arch nemesis. He likes to cruise around like a narcissist in the biggest trucks and make tracks around where I sleep and stuff, you know what I mean? But anyways, back to the storyline. Okay. After, of course, just like at noon on Easter, the devil impersonates the Son of God almost perfectly. On Christmas, on midnight, he impersonates the Father as somebody we've known, grown up from childhood, to trust and accept. And we might have been scared the first couple times that we came to him in the malls, but we learned to accept him. He's the one that gives us all the gifts, all the stuff we want. It's the King of the North and all this other stuff. He lives in the North. There's parallels, tons of parallels. Come on, more than a dozen. He comes as Santa at midnight, but he's not omnipresent. He wishes. He has his devils impersonate the sleigh and Santa. You know, God will share his omnipresence with us when we get through this mess. God's greatest attribute is his love. It ain't his power, his knowledge, or his presence. That's from a worldly view. That's from a selfish view. Those are powerful from a selfish view. God's greatest attribute is love. Those just share love. And when this situation is over, it's only happening once. He's promised us that. When this situation is over, we will be able to grow. We'll be able to grow. The universe will be able to grow. Everything will fill in this new universe he made as he expanded the old one out, and he made a giant earth 100 times bigger than we think it is. And he made a giant sun 100 times bigger than our perception of this one, and 100 times farther away than our perception of this one. And the whole universe he made that's bright with no dark matter, and we don't understand it here because we're so used to a corrupt world down even at the cellular microscopic level. But there's a perfect world in the universe. And we're in a snow globe on top of, we're above the nations, you know, like he stretched out above the world, the unformed world. And he made, later on in the week, he made the moon and the sun. The little ones that are small, feeder ones. And they'll always spin around, sure, but we're not going to be dark anymore. We're trapped in a snow globe, man, with evil. And it's about to get worse. We got to get out of the snow globe. Our God is not. Our God's in the heavenly sanctuary out there in the real Orion's Nebula, in the real universe. This stuff is a theater, and God creates optical illusions with vanishing points and stuff. He's not trying to fool us. He's not trying to trick us. He's given the devil every platform to prove his point. He gave him a perfect world, near perfect, before the flood. He gave him the run of the world before the cross. It's like a rebellious teenager at God's people. You don't tell him just get lost, I never want to see you again. You say, okay, if you're going to drink, I know you're going to do it. You got to do it here. I want everybody's keys, you know. If you're going to have a girlfriend and have sex, I don't agree with it until you're married. But you've got to wear protection. You can't be getting in. You know, you do, and God says, okay, because of the hardness of your heart, you're going to have slaveries. You're going to have multiple wives. If the devil runs this show, he's the one in people's hearts. But God, Jesus came and won this war back at the cross, and now he's the one that comes into our hearts, and we all know him. We are that tree that he was hung on. We are the symbolism. There's symbolism all around. It's real. They're real. They happen. But God is so awesome. He expresses it in all kinds of ways. That tree, the cross that Jesus was hung on, it was a piece of wood. It was alive at one time. God comes to everybody, and everybody that's walked away from him. He judges us according to our hearts, what we've known, what we've seen, what he's allowed into our lives. He doesn't give us too much light because he knows we're rejected. He's in the business of saving people. He'll make people sick because they cry out to God, and every time they're not sick, they won't, and he'll take their lives because he loves them and he wants them saved forever. He knows we got short-sighted vision. We're nearsighted. He sees the big picture. We got to trust him. We got to stop being stupid, and we just got to trust him 100%. We got to be part of love, even if it costs us our lives. We got to do what he says to do. It's not about us anymore, or it's not about me anymore. It's about us. It's about Jesus. The old covenant was between the Father and the creation, mankind. The new covenant is between the Father and his real, actual Son that he raised, and he shared his all-knowledge and power and presence with. And that Son decided to become a created being to save us, to show principles for eternity. It's like me becoming a plant to save all the plants. We'll never get it. Don't think you got it, man. Put God in an unlimitless mindset. It's the devil that wants you to think you can have your own snow globe and you can be your own sun and have not only your own people but your own animals and your own insects and your own molecules, and you can control everyone. That sun ain't big enough to carry my God. When you have a sanctuary, a heavenly sanctuary, you can't have a sun and a moon God. And if you did, this world would have ended in 1844. We got to hang on to our principles. We can't let go of this stuff. We got to be old school. Old school end of the Protestant Reformation, 1800. Come on, man. Mid 1800s to 1900s. Come on, man. We got to get back to the heart of us. The same way with everybody. The heart of the Reformation. The heart of the original church. It's been hidden.